Okay, so I've done my usual, done a few things and forgotten or failed to just film it, which is typical me. So here we go, let's see if we can summarise on what we've done. Got the outer cover on. Had to buy a new outer cover because it was damaged down here. Someone had smacked it and ruined where the oil seal goes. So I had to buy a new cover, which meant I had to buy a new arm for the clutch. So that's on, wires in. I put it on yesterday, so the gasket sealant has dried today. I finally got the right nuts to do these two. These are on and torqued up. And my next task is to put the primary drive on, put the cover plate in. It's got a new oil seal. This is all on. I'm going to get this to the position where I can sort of slide everything on, measure it up and make sure that's good. And I've also rebuilt the clutch. The spindle's got new rollers in it, new outer chain wheel. The chain is good and the front sprocket are good. The chain wheel, the only reason I've replaced it is because the clutch grooves were battered and just out of shape. So the inner is good, the outer was damaged, so we'll put that on. That's nuts and bolts and washers for the rocker box. That's the primary drive screws. I'll put those in there, and that's about it really. That's what I'm going to do now. So my next thing is to offer up the primary side, the clutch, the front sprocket and the chain, and make sure that all goes together. And I'll check for alignment and make sure the sprockets are in line. They should be pretty good. I say they should be pretty good. Who knows, I put a new crank on, so maybe they need some adjustment, but I'll check them. Just checking the primary with the steel rule. There's a fraction, but good enough. So that's going to go on. I'll put the chain on and slide it all up with a new Woodruff key, bit of grease, tighten up the taper, and then we can check the engine for rotation. The sprocket slides on and off beautifully. That's really nice. There are no rocks, like perfect. So that's good. I'll get the chain on and pinch it all up. So primary drive on pretty easily. As you can see, the rotor's had a little bit of touching on it. It's not too bad. There's no big gouges out of it. It's still got magnetism. So I plan on using it. Well, it's on, so I am using it. I need to even up the clutch, get the screw in, tighten up the nut, make sure that's good, true that up. I'll have to put the clutch cable back on to do that. No big deal. And I need to put the kickstart on and get it out of gear, because apparently it's in gear. I didn't realise I left it in gear. Then it's put the stator, the stator on, go through the rubber bungee thing, which is the bit I hate the most, and then wire that up, and then put the primary cover on. Primary cover needs some repair, so I may attempt that tomorrow. Then it's exhaust, carburetor. Carburetor, I'm going to try the 928. It should have a 930 ammo on it, which is 30mm, and I've got a 928 on the B25, which is 28mm. So it's smaller. I'm going to try it and see if I can get it to run. I should probably buy a new one. With the smart thing to do, and it's not like I'm sort of sticking to the budget I've got to do this, so I might as well do that. Yeah, and then that'll be, hopefully I can get it running soon, which would be outstanding. Anyway, that's it for this little excerpt. So I'm out in the garage. We're supposed to have a club ride today, and it was gonna rain. They forecast torrential downpours for the whole day, and it hadn't rained when I first started out, buggering around, but luckily it's raining now, which I heard it and it didn't register, and poor old Speedmaster was out in it, so Speedmaster got a bit wet, but I've washed it off. But with the B44, I've just put gearbox oil in it and put the gear shaft on. I went to fit the kickstart, and my kickstart is 3/4, and that's 5/8. So I need to buy a new kickstart. And I went through the whole thing. I had to get I don't know why I got a 5/8 bloody kickstart. Oh, because I had a 5/8 case. So I started with this, had to get a new one, had to get a new case. Now I've realised I need a new bloody kickstart. So I'm off to order a kickstart. Hopefully I can get one. I will look for a used one, because, you know, a used one would be better than buying new. But it's just one thing after another. I should have just pulled the case off the B25 engine and used that and the Kickstarter quadrant and all that stuff, but I didn't, and now I'm spending money again. So today's goal is to try and repair the primary case. It's buried over there and now it's raining. I've got to squeeze past the bikes, but I'm trying to repair the primary case. I've bought a couple of cans of carb cleaner to blow through the carb. I may do a dry mock-up on the exhaust, figure out where I've got to cut it and how long the piece is I've got to put in it. And I can kind of jig that together. Do a rough weld, tack it and see how it looks. What else? I think that's it. I think that's all I'm going to achieve today. I may try and get the rocker cover on, because I can do that sitting on my little thing without getting anything wet. Like I said, put gearbox oil in. And a little shameless plug for I can't get there. Over on the bench next to the red box, you can see what looks like a massive hypodermic syringe. That is the best thing for getting oil in and out of bikes. I just filled the gearbox oil, didn't spill a drop. That's what I'm trying to say, and I put the perfect amount in because it's got graduations on it, so you can measure it out and just push it in. Brilliant. It's 15 bucks on Amazon. I don't normally like Amazon, but that was a really good purchase. So there we go. That's it for now. So I've got the clutch cable. Had to shorten it. It was the inner was too long. So now I've got the clutch moving fairly nicely. It seems to be coming out in and out evenly. I need to test it by kicking it over and watching if it runs out when I pull it. And as I'm waiting for a Kickstarter of the right size, I shall have to wait for that. So now what I'm going to do is put the stator on. I've still got the plastic bolt that goes around here, fits it nicely. I'll put the grommet in, feed the wire through there, get the grommet in first and do all that. The chain that came with the bike is new and is the right tension, so the slipper can go on the bottom and just touch it. And if you remember from when I took this apart, it's got a brand new slipper. Let me have a look. Where are you? Yeah, this guy. But hardly any wear, minuscule wear. So that's a bit of a find actually, because I bought a used one that was supposed to be good and it was nothing like that. So this is something. Well, actually it's a primary chain slipper, so that's good. So I'll put that on. I'll put the stator on. Same process as before. You know, put this guy over it, slide it on like that, and if I can get it on, there we go. Slide the stator over, that gives me the required clearance, wang it around a bit, and then that's it. So we'll see how that gets on, or how I get on with that even. Good morning. Let's see, I'm taking 10 minutes out of work to think about things, and I've just had a little victory. There's an oiler that goes there. I don't know if you can see it, but what you can see is a flat, or a slot. So there's you can see in the back, just see the Allen screw. Actually you can't, there's an Allen head down there, unscrewed. Maybe you can see it there. Yeah, that's better, you can just see it. So that's an oiler that goes to the chain, and it's junk, and I've forgotten to block it off, and of course you can't get in there. So what I did was cut an Allen screw short of the right thread and then put a slot in it on this side, hold it in with my finger and then wound it with a screwdriver. It's got an O-ring on the back, and screwed it from the wrong side, so that's great. Anyway, rocker box is on. I was thinking about getting a new oil feed because this one, as you can see, is a bit bent up, but it works. I need to sort out my decompressor. It's a bit, I think it's going to be a source of oil leaks. It looks a bit warm. I'm not actually sure if I'm going to need it. Getting the rocker box on was a bit of a game. I've had to take the coil off, which is another story because basically the end of the HT lead where it goes in the coil is really corroded, so I'll have to fix that. I've got the rocker clearances, so there's just a little bit of tapping for running in, so that's good. I put the plug in. I can turn it over quite easily by hand. I know the rings are going to bed in, so compression will go up, but right now it's pretty easy. Gonna put the other carb stud in. I've rotated it. I've got oil coming up through to the rocker feed. Haven't got it into the oil tank yet because it's got to fill up the filter. The wiring is done. I've got the generator wires coming in to the voltage regulator. I've got the ignition wires coming into the ignition unit. I have yet to time it and put the sender unit on. I've got the clutch roughly right to where I think it is. I need to get the Kickstarter comes today, so once I'm sure that that's okay and it rotates freely and get even disengagement, so it's not like coming one side or the other, I'll lock wire these together, and then I'll put the primary case on, time this, and that should be good. Talking of the primary case, let's quickly take a quick look at that. So I did do a quick repair. I bought some of these benzomatic brazing rods for aluminum. I think they're junk, but I could stand corrected. I actually managed to repair the crack in the case with it. It's a bit globby there, but where it matters, it's sort of held. And I've got the case hot and beaten back this because this was caved in, and obviously it's got a split in it. But I'm going to sand it up, scuff it up with my Scotch-Brite pads, and then that'll be that. I've got a new CNC plug or billet plug. That one fits in there, won't go in here. This goes in both. I think the threads on this are slightly too big, so I've got another one of these. I'll try and match them for size. I'll measure the OD and maybe have to just sort of massage it down a little bit. But this is probably the worst case on the whole bike, which makes me wonder whether I should buy a new one. But I'm trying to not spend too much money on this. At least that's the goal. Anyway, the surface is pretty good. Apart from the beating it's had, everything else is pretty good. Obviously it needs to come apart, get cleaned, get the rest of the gasket off. Don't put that on. And then I've got the exhaust pipe mods to do, which I'll probably do Friday. I've got a club ride on Saturday, which I'm looking forward to. Going to take the Speedmaster. Haven't shown that much love. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all we've done so far. All we've done. And of course, I've not. There we go. That's better. I've not really videoed much of it because I've done it all with the B25. But you know, for those of you who are joining the B44, let's go back and watch the B25. I will video the fire up because that'll be key, and probably the carb rebuild because that's boring as hell. So why wouldn't I share that?